Okay, cool. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the work that I'm doing in the design system that I'm working on. So one of our designers put together this really awesome component here. That's this beautiful card. You can see there's various states of this card here. We have different background colors, actually different color components in here. And I've been doing some work all together, and I actually built out the card in all its various um, aspects. You can see a lot of that work here. But this morning, I was actually coming back to it, and I needed to make some updates to it. And I realized that I had built out the card in all its various components in the different states being used. And so let me explain to you a little bit about what I mean. So I had built this card, and it has an image, has a background color, with a nice little border radius on it. It has a heading, some content, has a button, and all of that makes up the component. And then that component actually gets made into what's called a sketch symbol. So I can access that sketch symbol here under the default. You can see image and button. And so that's great. So I can actually like plop that guy in there. That's actually the wrong one. So that's cool. But I can actually here, we'll go in here and default image standard with a button. Nope, that's not that one either. Having a weird glitch here. All right, so image with a standard card and a button. And so you can see that I have that here. And that's great. But what I didn't realize is that, if I need to come in and actually update this, then if I need to update the card headings, I actually have to go through all of the card headings in all of these cards, which is super annoying. I would actually have to go in and change each one of these components. Now, this is actually a symbol. So if I wanted to just change the base heading style, I could do that. But if there was something else that I needed to do across these three variants, let's go back over here. So this is actually the visual design. So if I needed to go in and change all three of these, I would need to change each individual instance of these. So if we wanted to use a different heading style all the way across, let's say we wanted to go from an H2 to an H3, I'd actually have to go in and change the H2 to H3. Because if I change the base heading style and the card component, that actually changes that component everywhere in the sketch library. So this morning, I'm actually doing it a different way. It's a far more efficient way. And so I have actually the next one ready to go here. This is our neutral. So instead of having a light green background or a light blue background, it's actually going to have a gray. And so this is the power of sketch symbols. So I'm actually going to go into card. I'm going to grab the default, which is actually that light blue heading you're seeing here on the left. So this one here, you can see the name of the component there. So I'm actually going to go in and grab card. We're going to look for default, image plus standard card plus button. And I have that component ready to lay in, and I'm going to drop it in right here. But that's not the right background style. And that's where overrides come in, which is super awesome. So if I need to come in, I can choose the neutral background, which is our sort of light grayish background. And now I actually have that component built out. And so if I want to go in here and I want to move the heading, watch the heading in all of them. So now I've actually am using the power of nested symbols in Sketch. And so if I need to come in and update one of these cards, I can actually do that, change the alignments and everything else. Actually, the reason I'm coming back in this morning is because I sort of made a first initial version of this, and one of the designers, who actually did the visual design over here and provided me with the component design, was just pointing out there's some alignment issues, and I just sort of I breathed a great sigh and was like, I guess I have to go in and change the alignments everywhere. And then that got me thinking about using the default symbol and then just modifying one element of that and actually moving it over as sort of a nested symbol in here. And so the master is actually the default, and that actually controls all sort of the variants of that, which is super awesome. I actually intend to go through and do that with these as well. It's going to be a little more intensive because we have a different color heading, which these are all symbols that I can swap out as well. But the essential alignments will all stay the same. and affecting one heading, one place in alignment is going to affect everything else everywhere. So if you want to hang on, you can watch me go ahead and rebuild that, and we'll get started. So I'm actually, since this is a nested symbol, I'm just going to copy that element. I'm going to paste it over here, right in there. And I'm going to take the background element, and I'm going to change it to primary. You can see that, which is awesome. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to change the button style. So we have to find the button here, primary container width. We're actually going to use a different button style. So I'm going to use outlined. Actually, nope, we're going to use the white version. I'm going to use outlined. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to find the container width because we want one that's full width. And that's the component that we have here. And boom, there you go. I can come in here and change this to white as the content. Grab the heading, and then change the heading style to white. And there we go. And that symbol is built out, so I can just copy that and paste it over here. And because I'm actually copying the instance of this symbol here, I can actually just go in and I can change the primary to secondary. And now that card is built out. So here is the awesome sauce that we just created. So if I'm going to come in here and move that button, watch the button all the way across. You ready? Boom. Alignments had. And so now I can come in and do all of my tweaking. 24 pixels wide, 24 and 24, so that alignment is now accurate. I actually know from memory that this is supposed to be 24 pixels high, which then means that my alignment here needs to be exactly 24, which is perfect. This needs to be 24 pixels high, and that should be 8 pixels wide. And then looking at this alignment here, we should have 24, 24, and 16 pixels. So this card is actually perfectly aligned, and because we've used nested symbols, I know that it's actually perfectly aligned all the way across. So that's the power of nested symbols. Just wanted to share that with you today. I'm really excited to actually get these symbols out and get them published for all of our designers to use. So I'm going to go finish that. Thanks a lot for watching.